Jay Massey is a full-time real estate investor. He's an entrepreneur.
He also teaches people how to find deals, raise capital for real estate investments.
Meeting Jay Massey in person, you'd think he's just a regular guy. He's got jeans and a t-shirt on and a pair of sneakers. But he's built up a multi-million-dollar empire.
I hope you do have an empty notebook because it's going home filled.
Jay gives back so much value that I've never seen.
Now, at this moment, when I'm looking at the kitchen, things are going through my head.
You want to be friends with him, and he treats you like you're the only person in the room, even though it's for the benefit of everybody.
This is how, when you ask yourself, how does Jay do it? This is how.
He tells people that they have to take action, and they have to take action now. I took the action, and the results have paid off.
What happens when the marketplace understands who we are and how we go out there?
Hey guys, so surprise, not Jay again. So if you've been with us the last few Sundays, you've noticed that Wendy and I have taken over Jay's stream.
Yes, here we are. We're back again, taking over the stream. And today we have a very special topic about I thought that we would talk about the who, the what, the why, and the how of finding a mentor in your business.
And just the way you said that, I know you've had some mentorship.
But how'd you know?
Because we have the same mentors. So we should probably tell everybody, if you're new here, if this is your first time here, putting you in the comments so we know who you are. But we should probably introduce ourselves, since you might have been expecting Jay Massey.
We are not Jay. However, Jay is our mentor.
Yes.
And has been our mentor for, I'm going to say like 3-4 years now. It's been a while. So we are John and Wendy Williams. We are accountability coaches here at the CashFlowDiary. And welcome. And today I thought that we would talk about the who, what, why, and how of finding a mentor, and what that looks like, and how Jay has been a mentor for us, and why we chose Jay, and what it's been like for Jay as one of our mentors in our short-term rental journey. We do own and operate a short-term rental business in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we actually got started flipping houses about 3 or 4 years ago. Has it been 3 or 4 years?
Yes, it keeps popping up on my timeline.
God,
I'm like, what are these houses? Why was I doing that? Yes.
Why was I doing that?
But much like Angela, if you saw the
that's right,
the
Angela.
thing yesterday, that's how Angela got her start,
right.
was flipping houses. And I think she came to the same kind of conclusion we did, that it was nice to get the check, but then you had to go do it again.
Yes.
Right. And kind of start all over. And so we're in our journey for actually cash flow that we could rely on coming in every month, because I actually watched that broadcast yesterday and made the comment, it's hard to buy groceries with equity.
Oh, that's a good one.
And it really sucks to be waiting to buy groceries for someone to buy your last flip. So we were looking for a way to generate more cash flow, and this is where we landed, and it's kind of become our niche, and we needed a good mentor. So,
well, Jay Massey had been our mentor in the real estate investing space.
Regular real estate anyway, yeah.
So we already knew him, and then when he started doing short-term rentals and talking about doing short-term rentals, we paid attention.
Yeah, and it was like, what do they say on Forrest Gump? Peas and carrots?
Peas and carrots.
It's like peas and carrots?
Yep, it's like peas and carrots. That's right. That's a good analogy.
Yes.
Love that one. So when he started talking about short-term rentals, he was already our mentor. And, we chose him to be our mentor in the short-term rental space as well, because that's what we were looking for in a mentor, was somebody who was already doing it.
Right. And that kind of goes back to, and this is one of my favorite subjects, by the way, having mentors in your life is so important.
Man.
So important.
Right.
And, well, why would you even need a mentor?
Well, for me personally,
I think you just mentioned one of the big ones.
Because I'm looking in a mentor, I'm looking for someone who has been there and
done that. Yeah.
Right. So because if I'm looking for someone who is already doing or is already where I want to be.
Right. And I think something else super important that you may not think about at first, you may look at it as a weakness, but it's actually a huge strength. And one of the reasons it really helps, it helps you to avoid mistakes in your own future.
That's a good one.
So you're looking for somebody that is not perfect, that has gone out there, that has made mistakes,
failed forward,
failed frequently,
fast.
Right? And that way it helps you avoid those same mistakes in the future. So,
yes. Oh, that's a good one.
Why reinvent the wheel if you
right.
can simply follow success? And that's part of what I like about what we have here is there's a recipe. There's, hey, because I do this, and this comes up in the group all the time. Hey, what about this thing? And often 9 times out of 10, Jay said, yeah, I tried that. Don't.
Yep. That happens all
the
time.
And then I will admit, there are times that we have said, just go do it anyway. It seems like such a great idea. And then you find out
why
your mentor told you not to do that. So, yes.
Right.
So
sometimes you got to learn the hard way.
yes,
Right.
sometimes you have to learn the hard way.
And when Jay has told you to do something and then you go out and do it yourself and you come back and say, yeah, well, we tried that. And he's like, okay.
Well,
That's
usually
what he says.
Well, usually the okay comes before you do the thing.
True. That's true.
So he'll say, yeah, you do it this way. And he'll say, well, I really want to try it this way.
And he says,
and he'll say, okay. And
That's
now I've learned that,
when you know. Yes.
that's a hint that I might need to pay attention to what I was just told, because there is a big reason. There's a big reason.
There is a reason. There is a reason.
Yes, there is a reason.
There's a method to the madness.
Yes.
Going on over here in CashFlowDiary, and we've learned.
And sometimes it is a glorious madness, because you are encouraged to fail forward, fail frequently, and oftentimes failure seems like chaos, but it really is the process of getting to where you want to go.
That is good.
And yet another thing I've learned from my mentor,
that is a really great point that you just brought up. Was he encourages us to fail. And to fail often.
That's a big one, actually. That's a big one. And
I've never seen anything like it. And I never would have thought to, hey, Jeremy, I never would have, because I used to be a teacher. And now stepping out of the teacher space and into the business space, I see how important it is to encourage others to fail, because that's how you learn.
Yes.
We learn so much from our failures.
That's true. Oftentimes when you do something right, it went right, but you don't know why. Right. And going back to the mentor thing, that sometimes you just have to say, why is this way? And then you can kind of get that explanation to figure out, okay, that's why that went well.
Yes.
It's because we did X, Y, and Z. Or sometimes it's, hey, you just got lucky. And you might be pressing your luck if you keep doing that, but that comes up too. But it's always good to have somebody that, again, has had those mistakes and kind of smooth out the path for you, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. Somebody who's already made those mistakes and said, you may not want to do that.
Yeah. And it helps to, that's another point. It helps to know that you're not alone.
Ooh, that's good too. That's what I love about the CashFlowDiary community, and especially like the roadmap community. Like, we're all going through the same thing, and to know that everybody else is going through the same things as well. We can bounce ideas off of each other and say, hey, I've got this problem over here. Has anybody else encountered this problem? And most of the time, other people are going through the same thing that we are.
Right. Yes, like Jeremy said, mentors are so valuable. I think we all learn the hard way, and it sucks.
It sucks.
Yes. And we usually do that by trying to go out and do it ourselves.
Yep.
And not just take advantage of the wealth of value that's there.
That is huge.
In following. Although I will say, as just a side note, it doesn't do you any good to ask somebody, how you should do something, especially if it's someone that is successful in what you're trying to do, and then not go do it. Right. So it's this whole, there's kind of a collaborative back and forth, and that's another great value of having a mentor, is just to have somebody to bounce ideas off of.
Yeah, it's great.
Because sometimes it's, you've got this great idea. It's something you've come up with. It might even be something new, because in this business, things move so quickly that it's not like, hey, the YouTube video from 2 years ago that you watched about how to do X, Y, and Z may not be relevant anymore, especially since COVID. Right. So that, things have changed. And so just having somebody with experience, even if they haven't actually gone through that thing, because who has? I mean, the last pandemic was 1918 or something. with the Spanish flu. So if you've got a mentor that was around in 1918, they maybe aren't into short-term rentals. I'm just guessing, although it has been around a long time. But yeah, so you're going to have somebody that also knows how to go through adversity,
and somebody who is also available for you who is putting themselves out there as an educator who has what do we have, like 4 calls a week or something like that. So somebody
about to add another one,
and we're just about to add another one. And
don't tell anybody.
That's right.
Because now everybody's like, really? There's another one coming?
God,
not official news.
You've just opened up a can of worms, John. So somebody who is available for you to ask questions to is huge, right? Because Jay is live all the time, and you can just pop in and ask him a question. And we've created this community where you can go in anytime, 24 hours a day, and post up this question, and somebody is going to have had that experience, and it's more than likely Jay.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about some traits. So if you're looking for a mentor, obviously we love ours, but if you're looking for a mentor, what traits do you feel like you ought to look for in that person?
Well, somebody who's available and somebody who's a good educator, I think is probably a good teacher.
Yes, because that's true. Everybody that, for example, like somebody like a Kobe Bryant, and by the way, RIP Kobe, and that was the big news at the beginning of this year, and that seems so long ago. But Kobe was one of my favorite basketball players.
Yep, mine too.
But people like that because he had such natural talent. Michael Jordan, I'm mentioning basketball people, but any sport you can think of like that. A lot of times these people are natural talents. They're great. They're awesome. They're, at the top of their game, but they make poor teachers and they make poor coaches.
Ooh.
For whatever reason. So
That's good.
You almost want somebody that is a born educator, someone who's a born teacher who has that inside of them to be able to not only do it themselves, but has that talent to
somebody who's willing to give back. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not only willing, but able.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just aren't good teachers.
That's true.
Wendy is one of those people that's a born teacher. That's what she's good at. I mean, that's why that was her profession, right? But there are some people at the top of their game that just aren't, and that's okay. Not everybody has to be the coach. Sometimes those people end up, being in other roles like sports broadcasting or something else that they are good at. But I think that's a really important point. It's not always, somebody who is willing and wants to, but are they a born teacher?
Yeah.
Can they do it?
Yes.
Is that their forte?
Yeah, that's good.
And that's one of the things in particular I get from Jay is he is a born teacher.
Yes.
In fact, I'm want to say he enjoys doing that more than he does the short-term rental business.
Agreed.
It's his thing, and you can see it.
Yes.
We've been watching it every day live here, right?
Right.
And
you can tell that he really enjoys doing that.
You can tell he has a passion for it,
Yep.
and he just wants to help you. And the most excited I ever see Jay is when somebody goes out, follows something he says, and then has success. Did you see how many smiles were on the thing yesterday?
Yes.
Like every time somebody came up with something, hey, I got 3 more units,
Yep.
or I'm about to do 3 more, and it's almost like it's genuine.
Yes.
So yeah. And then another thing I think is super important is somebody that's always growing and learning themselves.
Ooh, that's
right?
good.
They're a lot
reading books.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the mentor themselves, are they growing and learning? Are they somebody that's do they think they know it all?
Oh, that's good.
Have they stopped their growth? Because nobody does. Anybody that tells you, hey, I know everything is lying.
Run.
Is lying to
Run
you,
away,
right?
run away.
So you want somebody that is always looking for new things, always growing,
really
always
good.
learning. And even in the short time that we've been, relatively short time that we've been in the program, things have evolved and things have changed because, one, the world changes, and two, it's not like, okay, here's a package that I put together 3 years ago that I'm still going to just rehash that thing. No, we're constantly new technology, new methods.
Yeah, and that's one good thing about Jay too, is he's always testing in his own business and trying to improve his systems and processes, and that way he can, turn around and say, hey, I've been testing this and this and this, and this is what I've found out to work for me. And then at the beginning of COVID, we all had to pivot, right?
Yeah.
And Jay did too. So Jay had, kind of helped us along and helped us all pivot, because he learned some new things and said, hey, I've learned this and this and this works. And hey, let's go do this.
And sometimes it's really hey, let's bring in an expert on that thing. Like,
he does that a lot.
Yeah. Like, for example, part of our, not everything we do is just strictly, hey, how do you set up your Airbnb listing and, tactical things like that. A lot of it is actually, how do you build a business and how do you manage your cash flow and how do you
do a lot of that.
Like, for example, for us here in Charlotte, we're coming out of August, we're going into September. How do we plan for September? Because September's traditionally a down month for us. Who knows what it'll be this year? Because who knows? 2020 is not over. I'll be glad when it is. But who knows what's coming, right? So how do we manage cash flow and how do we do things inside of our business to not just be hobbyists, right? How do we become pros? How do we become CEOs of our own businesses?
That's good.
And not have that stand for chief everything officer. Right.
Because we don't want to do everything.
Right.
I mean, you're not really a business owner if you're the one that's doing everything.
Right.
I mean, you gotta have a team in place. So that's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up, because we talk a lot about the team members that you need in order to be a successful short-term rental operator. And he's always bringing in experts on, how to do extended stays, how to manage your cash flow, that kind of thing. So
the personal finances, even we've talked about.
We have talked a lot about
how
that.
do you? I mean, not just cash flow in the sense of, hey, which bank account does it go into? But where do you invest it? Where do you?
A lot about
where
that.
do you? How do you cycle your cash so that it's always working for you? And how do you take advantage of that inside of the world of STR? And how do you? It's awesome. It's a comprehensive. But the point is, you want somebody who's a mentor who is always growing and learning themselves, and then is bringing those ideas and sharing them with you. And you almost grow together in that way.
Yep. That's great.
Yeah.
That's a really great point.
Yeah.
I love that.
So tomorrow, I just want to mention this. Don't forget that tomorrow starts the 5-day live class that Jay is teaching. So if you want a taste of this, make sure you have gone and registered for that. You can register over at Learn Live. It's right here.
Gotcha.
So that actually starts tomorrow. It starts on Monday.
Yeah, join us.
And it's totally free to register. I would highly advise you to take advantage of that.
It's free.
It's free. It's going to be super highly valuable.
Yes.
Even if you've been doing this for a while, you will get something out of it. If you're brand new, at the end of those 5 days, it's very likely that you will walk away with enough information to go get started. And not even by the end of the 5th day. I think if you just follow that and execute and say, let Jay be my mentor for the next 5 days, and show up and do the things that you're asked to do. And there's a workbook and all sorts of things. And it's going to be a kickstart to great things. You heard about them yesterday. The success that some of the students have had just recently.
That's right. It could be the beginning of your financial freedom.
Yeah. And we know they're not plants because we are their accountability coaches.
Right.
So I know this is true. And they're even having more success than they mentioned yesterday.
Yes. Agreed.
Maybe they're not allowed, ready to announce the next
Agreed.
set of leases that I know they're about to sign.
Right.
But yeah, it's been fun watching.
It really has.
It's been fun watching them
really has.
and seeing how well what we're teaching here inside of CashFlowDiary does work across.
That's exciting.
Almost everywhere. I think we talked about that last time, but I can't think of a place that it doesn't work. I can't think of a profession that you come from where you can't follow the recipe. We have teachers, we have doctors, we have people who are auto mechanics. It seems like aircraft mechanics were a thing yesterday for some reason.
We got people in the military.
Yeah, we got people
full-time
military
that
are able to do this.
Yep.
And frankly, they tend to be some of the best because I think the military teaches you a lot of leadership skills and things like that, and that's very transferable to being the leader of a business, just personally. But that's a busy job, right? And when Uncle Sam says you have to be here at this time, you got to be there at that time. So this business, we teach you how to turn this basically into an hour a day if you want. And I just happen to know I watch Jay, and he spends maybe an hour a week at this point. Yeah, personally in his own thing. And just so you know, behind the scenes, that's something we get access to as roadmap students. So it goes back to that whole mentor thing. You want somebody that's doing it. And he actually lets us in on the inside of his business and watch what he does.
Yes. It is cool.
Yeah. It's like being a fly on the wall and just copy it. Just copy it. That's all you got to do. It's a recipe.
That's right.
Definitely show up for that tomorrow.
It's already laid out for you.
Yeah. So here's a big question. Do you pay a mentor? I think this is a controversial thing to say.
Do you pay a mentor? Well, yes.
Most of the time.
I would say most of the time because
a father could be a mentor, right? Like your dad, you probably wouldn't pay your dad.
Right.
Or a family member or something like that.
But if you're looking for a business mentor, how many countless hours has that person spent educating themselves and growing themselves and trying new things and learning the business and failing and successes and failures. How many countless hours has that taken for that person to gain that expertise that they are willing to share with you?
Right. And sometimes I think it's a little bit of having skin in the game.
That's interesting.
I did not realize this. When I first got into real estate investing, I would send private messages like Facebook Messenger stuff to people that I saw in the market doing what I wanted to do. And I'd say, hey, man, can we go have lunch? And what I really wanted to do was pick their brain on whatever it was. And what I just didn't realize at the time was how valuable their time was. Successful people often have packed schedules, and to have somebody, and I got turned down a lot for lunch, and I'm like, I'm paying for it, but they don't need me to pay for their lunch.
Right.
That's the whole thing, and me taking that time away from them without compensating them for it wasn't. I didn't realize what I was really asking.
So you weren't adding any value to them, is what you were saying.
Yes, I was there to take, not to give. So that's one part of it. But the other part of it, I didn't realize that when I was only asking for an hour, I was actually asking for possibly hundreds of dollars.
Right.
Because that's what their time was actually worth. Because if they weren't sitting there at lunch with me, there was a good possibility that they should be out doing something that makes money. We talk about that all the time.
That's good.
What's your money time? And it's your time spent in front of prospects and clients. And it's those things that actually bring money into your business, which, by the way, is why you don't spend time doing things like bookkeeping. somebody else needs to go do that so that you as the business owner can go do the things that actually bring revenue into your business. And
yes, that is huge.
yes. So, there's a balance to it that it kind of goes back to that. You got to have somebody that has the heart of a teacher and wants to, and is willing and available to help. But at the same time, you've got to respect that person likely is giving their money is worth something, or their time is worth something.
Mm-hmm.
So the best mentors I've ever had, I've paid well. And if you get the right mentors, it's the best investment you will ever make.
Oh yeah, it will come back to you tenfold.
Mm-hmm. Just like yesterday, that David was talking about, he's only going to operate 7 months this year because he didn't actually get started till March, right? And he's going to clear 30 grand.
Yeah, that's right.
So, what's that worth? If somebody could teach you how to do that, that's quite the return on investment.
Yeah. Yep.
Even if they were charging you 30 grand for it, if you could get back in 7 months, you'd be good, right?
Yeah.
And that's not what the cost of this program is.
Right.
But you get my point. Yes. Usually it's a paid thing if you want quality. And then as Jeremy says, make sure you register the free 5-day live training tomorrow. It's at CashFlowDiary.com/learn live, and that is absolutely free. So if you're hesitant about paying for a mentor, come start tomorrow, show up.
Yep.
And get that all for free for the week. And I know that I will be there, if nothing else, just to learn. I learn something every time. Every single time. Even when it's the same concepts over and over. Sometimes you just hear them a little differently, or sometimes it was something that wasn't relevant yet to you because you weren't at that stage. You hadn't moved to the point where that piece of information was really valuable to you. But then you hear it and you remember it and you say, "Oh, now I'm at the place where that matters." Right. And so then you can use it. So
that's good.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Free. That's right. Free mentoring all week next week.
Yeah. So what is the topic tomorrow? Let me look and see what that is.
Taking imperfect action with the right support.
Ooh, imperfect action is like your wheelhouse.
That is.
Yes.
That's my motto. Imperfect action every day.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? I'm all about failing forward and failing fast and learning from my mistakes. Because you're going to make mistakes. I mean, it's just the way it is. So just learn from it.
Don't you think one of the worst things you can do is wait around to try to get it perfect?
Yes. What is that saying? Perfection is the enemy of good. Perfection is the enemy of something. I think it's good.
Never quote something that you don't remember the quote.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
No, but I got it.
Perfection is the enemy of good, I think.
Yes.
Because if you wait until you know everything, like lots of people want to wait until they know everything about the short-term rental business. I got to know what the lease looks like. I got to know how I'm going to run this business. I mean, how am I going to, automate anything? What about my cleaners? What about my runner? What about this? What about that? They got to know everything before they start. And you don't. You just don't. You don't have to know everything. Just know that there is a process and there is a system out there just waiting for you. I think that's probably the best thing, the best advice that I could give. Don't wait until you know everything, because
you never will.
And you never will.
You will never know everything.
We've been operating for 3 years and we don't know everything.
No, but we know a lot more than we do when we started. One, because we had great mentors to follow, and two, because we actually went out and did the stuff that the mentor said to do.
Yep.
Because there's a big difference between, hey, I can tell you all about it. I can explain it all. I can write a book even and give you that and you can read it. But if you don't take the action, you won't get the result.
And Jay's motto is, it's now o'clock.
It's now o'clock. That wasn't on my list, but having somebody that will push you
Yes. Oh, that's good.
Push you to take action and hold you accountable.
Hold you accountable.
Even to the point,
Yes.
Jay went out and hired people to hold you accountable.
Here we are.
Right? So the accountability
It's our job
is
to push you.
huge. Accountability is huge. Oh, Mary got it. Perfect is the enemy of good.
See, I was right.
Okay.
Perfect is the enemy of good. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. I love that. I love
That is a great saying.
Mhm.
I like that one.
Can you tell us about a time that you failed forward?
Ooh.
I've got two that I can think of right off the bat.
Only two? One of them is this live stream. We failed every week until we got better at it, right?
Well, you know what? We've gone live a lot.
Yes, true.
So, every time we go live, we get a little bit better.
Just a little bit.
Bit better. But I was thinking about Dubois.
Oh, okay. What would you like to say about Dubois? We name our properties by the street that they're on.
Yes.
This one happens to be on
Dubois
Court. Not anymore, actually, but
Yes.
that was one of our fail forward places. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I really thought it was going to be great too.
We did.
I really did. I mean, it was so close to Uptown Charlotte. I mean, you could walk to the Panthers Stadium from this location, but I think it was too big. I think it was too big for our customer type.
Yeah, we went outside of what our formula was for our customer type because we got so excited about just having another one.
The location. And that's true too. I was too focused on, I got to get 10 units by the end of the year. 10 units, 10 units, 10 units, regardless. And I never should have done that. We never should have done that. So that was one.
What was the other one? I'm curious.
Misty Vale.
Oh, yeah. That one, yes, also bad. But yeah, those were just inside the STR business though. But we've had other things that we've done too. We fail a lot.
Yes.
Just so you know.
We do.
But I have learned to embrace failure. Because if I failed at it, that means I've got something that I can go improve. And that's a whole lot more fun than, hey, now I'm perfect and I don't have anything to work on. Right. I mean, there are always things. Perfection is, I don't think, achievable in the human condition. No. And, in my beliefs, there was one person that was perfect ever on earth, and I'm not him. So I'm going to fail, and that's okay. And the more you fail, it sounds so backwards. The more you fail, the more success you will have.
Yes.
Because you have to fail to succeed.
Yes.
It's such a weird thing. It seems so backwards.
Yes.
So if I had to give you any advice from that I learned from my mentors, go fail more. Yep. Go fail more. If you're not having success, go fail more.
Yep.
Doesn't that sound backwards?
Good.
But it's so true.
Good.
So true.
That's good.
And Jeremy's got it. Learning to execute it now o'clock will change your life.
Amen.
Right. So that going back to the 5-day, come day one, there's going to be something for you to do on day one. Go do it.
Go do it.
Just go do it.
Yes.
Go do that thing. Do that thing.
And then on the next day, on Tuesday, go do that.
And come back and tell us how bad you failed at it.
Yes. Yes.
And then go do it again.
We love that.
Yes.
We love that. That's our favorite thing.
Or how imperfect it was.
Yes. Who cares?
Yes.
Just go do it.
Yes.
Go do it and then come back and tell us all about it. That's what I tell my accountability students all the time. Go do it. It's not going to be perfect. And then come back and tell me how it worked out for you.
Yeah. So Donald says, will it be recorded to replay later for those that have a time conflict?
Ooh.
Yes and no. So it will be live on Facebook just like these. So like any Facebook video, it will be there until it gets gone. Right. But the no part of that is that at the end of the training, basically all of it comes down.
That's right.
So it's meant to be a live class. So I would encourage you, if you can make it live, definitely make it live. But you can watch the replays at your leisure. Just know that at the end of those 5 days, typically all of that stuff comes down, and then we reset, and we'll maybe do it again later. But yeah, yes and no is the answer to that question. Mary says, at the speed of instruction.
At the speed of instruction
is another way of saying that. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
She says, what has been the hardest piece of advice to follow from your mentor?
Oh, the hardest piece of advice?
They all seem really hard.
They really do.
Yeah.
They all seem hard at first.
It seems hard until you go do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're like, man, what was I afraid of?
That's part of the problem, is like a lot of those things that I'm trying to think back and say, you know, what was the hardest thing? It usually comes down to some sort of fear.
Yes.
It's a fear of, you know, is this really going to work? Or it's a fear of, well, this person told me that, and this person told me that, and do I really trust? You know, I'm afraid that that other person was right, which is just a fear thing too. So usually it's internal.
You know what it's a fear of for me?
Oh, tell me.
It's a fear of that I'm not good enough and I'm not able to do it. That's what.
Really?
That's my fear. Yes. Like, I don't think that I have what it takes to do it.
That's interesting, because me from the outside looking at you, I would never think that, because you're such an action taker.
But that's because I've learned that the only way to get over that fear is to actually go do it.
Interesting.
So even though I do it, even though I'm scared to do it, like going to talk to landlords.
Oh, that's a huge one. Yeah.
Oh man. At first, I think I've said this before. I'm pretty sure I wet myself. I was really, really, really nervous. But the more you do it, the more comfortable you feel doing it, and the more natural that.
Which is interesting, because you had the words to say.
I did.
You had exactly what to say.
I knew exactly what to say. Jay told me.
You even had your checklist and your clipboard and all that stuff that were given.
Yes. But actually going out and doing it was the hardest thing to do. Jay told me, go do it. So I went and did it.
And yet you've become so good at it.
Yes, because I've done it over, and I failed at it.
You did?
Yes.
Ooh, tell me about that.
I did fail. I've gotten plenty of no's.
Okay.
I'm the acquisitions manager here at
Queen City Suites.
Queen City
That's
Suites.
the name of our short-term rental. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina. If you want to come to stay in Charlotte,
Right,
Queen City Suites. That's the plug for that. But yeah, but Wendy is our acquisition. She's acquired all of our units pretty much.
Yes, I have. So we actually, look at the units together, and John works his magic. He sprinkles his magic dust on the units and says, yes, okay, he works the numbers. He's like the behind the scenes numbers guy. And he says, I think this one will work for us. So I'm the one that picks up the phone and makes the appointment and goes and walks the property and talks to the landlord. And
I'm kind of like, who could tell Wendy no? You've been told no?
I've been told no.
Interesting.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But now they come to you, don't they? I don't even think you have to go out and search properties anymore.
I don't have to go look for properties anymore.
Now Wendy says the one saying no.
Yes, it's true.
It's true.
It's true.
It's hard to believe, but yes, it's true.
After a while, you just get known in the market for being such a fantastic tenant that
as things come up, they're like, hey, do you want this one?
Our landlords just bring us stuff all the time. And I sometimes I have to say no because it doesn't fit our customer type. Right. So, but I remember.
So here you go. We know that not everyone can attend at the time of the event. People who are registered will be able to watch the replays for about a week, and then all the videos will come down. So you will have some time. But don't forget this one, now o'clock. That matters. That matters. That matters. And it's the same thing as saying, not that one, but this one, at the speed of instruction. So as you learn things, and I have this visual in my head because Jay told us this story about when he was learning real estate. He went to these, I can't remember the exact story because I'm not him, but he would go to these trainings. And then they would break for lunch, and he would go out in the hall on his phone and do the thing that they had just taught him to do. And that's what at the speed of instruction is. Not knowing the next steps, but just doing the thing and getting there. So.
And you know what? Those two students that were on live yesterday.
3.
That's right. There were 3 of them.
Marco was there.
Yep. Angela, and David.
David was there.
Yep.
Yeah.
All 3 of them did the exact same thing. That's what they all have in common. They didn't know what the next steps were. They were told to go do something, and they went out and did it.
Right. Which, from a mentor's perspective, is like the best thing that can happen is for somebody to keep coming back and asking you questions and saying, hey, I did that thing.
And this is what happened, or
what's
this
next?
Didn't work. And
always. Yes.
Always.
And that's what those calls we do every week are.
Yep.
You know, we inside the roadmap, we've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'll keep quiet about the other one.
Yes, please do.
But that's your chance to come back and say, hey, yesterday you said do this. I went and did it, and this is what happened. So that instant feedback is crucial, crucial.
Man, it's great. That's awesome.
So what else you got to say about that?
This link is down, he says. The playbook?
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, okay.
We'll figure it out.
Okay. Somebody will get on that. Don't know who it is, but somebody will do it. Well, that is it.
That was kind of it for me. I just want to remind you, and I'm going to say it one more time, come tomorrow. It's starting tomorrow. Be there. Register. Get registered. You can get registered at CashFlowDiary.com. Learn live. So if you haven't registered, go register.
It's free.
It's the first step. That at the speed of instruction. I'm giving you instruction. Go register for Learn Live, and you'll be way further ahead.
All right. Well, I hope everyone has a fantastic week, because this is going to be exciting. We have exciting, so much value to bring to you. If you go register, and you are just going to be blown away with the amount of information and mentorship that is just about to be handed to you for free. It's going to be incredible. You're not going to want to miss it.
I won't.
No, I won't either. We'll be there.
All right. Well, until next time, we'll see you guys, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
That's right. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Jay Massey is a full-time real estate investor. He's an entrepreneur.
He also teaches people how to find deals, raise capital for real estate investments.